Rest in peace to Old Reliable, because this thing freaking broke a couple weeks ago, and I tried filming a video just now with it, thinking I fixed it, but it's still broken, so I really think there is no hope for this. So I think I'm just gonna trash it. So I just filmed this video. So it's not gonna be as authentic as the first time around, because I can never recreate something. But let me just start from the beginning. So this week has really been interesting, or at least these last 2 weeks have been interesting. I'm gonna retell the events that happened on November 30th here, and I know a lot of people think, like, you know, I've seen on Facebook, a lot of my friends and family members seem to think that this was not very scary. To me, I was horrific and I was very terrified, but a lot of my friends seem to be making memes out of it. On November 30th, my parents were going on a trip to Seattle for the weekend, and they were just going to take a nice weekend trip and leave me home alone with the dog. And so I was starting my duties home alone for the first time, and I woke up at 8 a.m. and I fed my dog and I took him outside, and I took my medicine and I went to go lay down in bed and scroll through Twitter. And I had things planned for the day, big day ahead of me. And I was scrolling on Twitter and I was watching this video. It was a funny video too, which was sad because I never got to enjoy the video. But at around 8:30 in the morning, my room started to shake. And I've been through numerous earthquakes in my lifetime and nothing scary before, but I just kind of stared off into the distance like, what's going on? Like, okay, we're having another earthquake, big deal. And then the earthquake got worse. And it got progressively worse, and it wouldn't stop shaking. And earthquakes are loud if you've never been in them. Just everything's rumbling, everything's moving, everything's breaking. They're very loud, and I was having like a sensory overload moment, I think, and I grabbed my pillow because I had nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. And I grabbed my pillow and put it over my head, and I was screaming and crying and about to have a panic attack. I honestly think I did have a panic attack, but I don't remember very clearly. And then eventually the earthquake stopped. People said it lasted about like 30 seconds to a minute, depending on the area you were in, and it felt like an eternity. And it stopped for a moment. I was like breathing really hard and I couldn't catch my breath. And I was calling for my dog, trying to see if he was okay. He was very scared. And another earthquake was about to happen. And my room started shaking again. And my dog jumped on my bed. And I was holding on to him for dear life. But during the second quake, I was just, shaking and crying and just speaking into my dog's fur. Just, please stop, please stop. Like, I thought that was the end, honestly, but then again, I think everything is the end of the world. Yeah, I was all alone, and I think that's what made it so scary, is I had no one surrounding me, and I think it would have been less scary had had my parents been home, had my siblings been here, had I had a friend over, but I was all alone, and I was with my dog, and this was the first time I've ever been left alone like this, and at this time, I couldn't get a hold of my parents because they were still flying, and I didn't know what to do because my brother was out of state, and my sister lives quite a ways away, but my sister ended up texting me, and she was asking me if I was okay, and telling me to get underneath the dining room table and just stay there. So I did that. I pulled out the chairs from underneath the table, yelled for Blitz to come here and get underneath the table with me, and we sat there underneath the table, and more earthquakes started happening, and it was just very scary. Everything in the kitchen was breaking. Like, a bunch of dishes fell from the cabinets and things broke. All of our stocking holders fell off the mantle and broke. It was a disaster, and I ended up calling one of my good friends because she was all alone in her dorm room, and I was like, I don't know what we should do. What should we do? And she's like, we're gonna go for higher ground. Do you want me to come pick you up? So she started driving to my house, and during this time, I ran to grab my things, and I gathered my dog's food, I gathered my toiletries, I got extra clothes, extra food, lots of water, and then I get a phone call from my parents, and they're like, we heard about what happened, what are you doing, and are you okay? And I'm like, I'm about to take for higher ground with my friend, and my parents were like, stop what you're doing, stay home, don't leave the house. And I'm like, but what? We just got a tsunami alert on our phones that said, please take for higher ground, evacuate the area. What do you mean, don't leave? Like, you know those emergency alerts you get on your phone? Yeah, one of those. So that was very frightening, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. But then my boyfriend was telling me, we are already on high ground. There's no need to fear. So my friend gets here, and I told her all of this, and she's like, okay, I'll stay here though, because I don't have anywhere else to really go, because her parents live quite a ways away too. And so she just stayed here in my parents' house, and it was just me, her, and the dog, and we were talking over the counter, and another earthquake was about to happen, and we just dived from underneath the table, and it was just such a scary moment, but it was a lot less scarier when I had someone near me, which was so nice of her to actually come here and support me, because I was honestly the big baby here, and I was the one who needed to be babied. But eventually we were able to get up from under the table, and I turned on the news, and on the news they were just showing videos of people just lining up at the gas station trying to get gas, because during natural disasters people are trying to evacuate. So this gas station was just busy, and they're showing different roads and bridges just kind of fell apart, and the roads literally just sunk in. Like, they described it as the ground underneath it liquefied and just sunk, and everything broke. And lots of stores had broken things, and it was just a huge mess. And yeah, so the earthquake was a 7.0, which was the biggest one I've ever experienced in my life. Like, I've been through a few big ones, and I think the biggest I've been through is a 6, which some of you guys might think a 6 and a 7 isn't that different, but if you didn't know, on the Richter scale, things go up in powers of 10. So you have base 1, and then 2 is 10 times stronger, 3 is 100 times stronger, and it just goes up, so on and so forth. And so it was much stronger, let's put it that way. And plus, it was a lot longer than anything I've experienced, and I was by myself, and all these factors made it the scariest thing that has ever happened in my life. So now we're here 2 weeks later, and I just read a statistic that said we've had 4,000 aftershocks. 4,000 aftershocks since the day of the initial quake, which is insane. And some of these have been more noticeable than others. Like, just the other day, I was doing homework at my desktop, and there was a 5.0 earthquake happening, and I just kind of like jumped underneath my desk and was taking cover, and it was just such a scary thing happening. And gosh, I was so lucky that our water didn't go out, our power didn't go out, because in some places that did happen. And then about 100 homes are closed and like unsafe to enter. So I'm really grateful that nothing bad happened to our house. We just had broken dishes in the kitchen. I think one of our pumps in the crawl space kind of broke, and then like we have some drywall cracks, but nothing too major. So I'm really grateful for that. But man, you know, in school they like have you do earthquake drills, and a lot of kids take it as a joke, like nothing like this would happen to them, but it will definitely happen. Like, I was not ready for that at all. I didn't know what to do. Like, I've never prepared for something like that. And I think it's just the mentality, once you go through that, then you realize what's gonna happen. Man, yeah. My school was closed for a couple of days, and lots of schools around here have been closed. Some of them are closed for the rest of the school year, and they have to relocate. My school was able to open after about 4 or 5 days. We were able to reopen. And now it's finals week, and so everything has been a mess, and I just want it to be winter break, and I just want to be left alone by these aftershocks, because they give me so much anxiety, and they make my heart start to race, and I think my dog gets a little frightened now, too, whenever he feels an earthquake. But don't worry, everything is okay here, and it was so weird, because the morning the morning I was about to film a video and start Vlogmas, but the earthquake happened. So I've not been able to film anything because I've just felt so exhausted because I've been cleaning the house and making sure everything's in order, and it's just been a mess and I'm just so tired. But this video will be up and I will hopefully get a new microphone because mine broke. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Yeah, I've been okay. Everything's good. I've been posting on social media. You know, if you follow me on social media, then you know, I've been posting. Everything's good. But, yeah. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully I will be back on a normal posting schedule and things will be back to normal soon enough. So, yeah, thanks guys. And I will see you all next time with hopefully a less somber video. Bye-bye.